Maya had always been invisible. In the chaos of St. Catherine's emergency room, where voices competed and egos clashed, she moved like a whisper through the storm. For 3 years, she had worked the night shift, speaking only when necessary, her hands steady even when her heart trembled. The other nurses called her the quiet one, sometimes with affection, sometimes with dismissal. She never corrected them. She simply did her job, caring for the broken bodies and frightened souls that arrived through those sliding doors at all hours. Dr. Richard Thornton was everything Maya was not. The chief surgeon commanded every room he entered, his voice booming instructions, his presence impossible to ignore. He was brilliant. Everyone agreed on that. He had saved countless lives with hands that moved with surgical precision and a mind that could diagnose the impossible. But brilliance, Maya had learned, sometimes came with a cruelty that people excused too easily. What was about to happen would test everything Maya believed about courage, and if you think you know how this story ends, wait until you hear what she did that left the entire hospital speechless. It happened on a Tuesday night when the ER was drowning in emergencies. A multi-car accident had filled every bay, and the staff moved in synchronized chaos. Maya was assisting Dr. Thornton with a critical patient, a young father whose internal bleeding required immediate intervention. Her hands anticipated his needs, passing instruments before he asked, adjusting monitors, maintaining the sterile field with practiced efficiency. Then she saw it, a medication error on the chart. The patient was allergic to the anesthetic the resident had ordered. In 30 seconds, if that syringe entered his bloodstream, the man would go into anaphylactic shock. Maya's voice, usually so soft, cut through the noise. "Doctor, stop. The medication is wrong." Dr. Thornton's hand froze, his eyes cold and furious, locked onto hers. "What did you say? He's allergic. It's in his file. We need to change the anesthetic immediately." Time stretched. The entire surgical team held their breath. Dr. Thornton's face darkened with rage. And before anyone could process what was happening, his hand shot out and grabbed Maya's hair, yanking her head back. "You do not interrupt me during a procedure, ever. Do you understand?" The room went silent. Maya's scalp burned, tears springing to her eyes, but she didn't look away. "Check the file," she whispered. A resident nervously pulled up the patient's chart on the tablet. His face went pale. "She's right, doctor. Documented allergy. This would have killed him." Now, here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. If you're watching this, I want you to pause for just a second and ask yourself, what would you have done in Maya's position? Would you have walked away? Would you have demanded justice right there? Drop your answer in the comments, because what Maya chose to do next changed everything. Dr. Thornton released his hand, dropping as if burned. Maya stepped back, her hand touching her head where pain still radiated, but her eyes remained on the patient. We need to switch to propofol now. What happened next would be replayed in hospital corridors for years to come. Maya didn't run, she didn't cry, she didn't file a complaint or demand an apology. Instead, she stayed. She stayed through the entire surgery, her hands as steady as ever, guiding the team through the procedure she had memorized from textbooks she read on sleepless nights. When the young father's vitals stabilized and his heart beat strong and regular, only then did she allow herself to exhale. Dr. Thornton found her in the supply closet an hour later, quietly restocking shelves. His voice, for once, was small. "I could have killed him. You saved his life." Maya turned, and in her eyes was something he had never seen before. Not anger, but something far more powerful. Dignity. "I didn't do it for you," she said softly. "I did it because that man has 2 children who need their father. That's the only reason I stayed." She walked past him, her head high despite the lingering pain. By morning, Dr. Thornton had resigned, citing personal reasons. By evening, the hospital board had offered Maya a position in their patient safety initiative. And in the days that followed, the quiet nurse found her voice, not through volume, but through the undeniable power of someone who understood that true strength isn't about being heard, but about standing firm when it matters most, regardless of the cost. This story reminds us that heroes don't always raise their voices. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stay calm, stay focused, and do what's right, even when the whole world is watching and waiting for you to break. Maya's quiet strength saved a life that night, but more than that, it showed an entire hospital what real courage looks like. If this story touched your heart, If you know someone who deserves recognition for their quiet strength, share this video with them. Let them know they're seen. Let them know they matter. And if you've ever been the quiet one in the room who stood up when it mattered, drop your story in the comments below. Your voice deserves to be heard too. Sometimes the smallest act of courage creates the biggest change.